Stand pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner Cox.
Here.
Commissioner Grayman. Here. Commissioner Phipps.
Here.
Mayor Hall.
Here. Consent agenda. Items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion. Does anybody want to remove an item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April the 18th, 2023, the bills and payroll for the last half of April 2023, and resolution number 2023-3245, approving the continuance of a local state of emergency due to the coronavirus COVID-19. Can I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Grayman. Yes. Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Presentations, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meetings Act mandates that the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on the agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the matter for action on the agenda for another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentation to 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask you to state your name and address for the record as well as stand when speaking. Would anybody like to address the council tonight? Anybody online like to make any comments to the council tonight?
Doesn't appear to be anybody online.
Okay, so I won't have any then.
Kyle, you want to make any comments?
No,
Kyle's on there.
I'm not there.
Okay, so first I'm going to open the public hearing for the IDNR Boat Access Area Development ADA Accessible Kayak Launch. I think we're going to have some comments about this. Is that right?
So really exciting project that we're working on.
Can you go up to the, well, I guess there's nobody online, but
There's
yeah,
nobody.
just,
Yeah. Here we go.
Alex Pettis, as planning director, Dr. Brown. I took a COVID test earlier, completely negative, but my notes was bad. So anyways, we are applying hopefully for consent for the DAAD program through Illinois Resources. And so effectively, it's a grant program that allows us to, apply for that grant and get $80,000 worth of funding towards non-motorized boat vessels. And so the idea is essentially just, we'd like to apply for that. We've been looking at a couple of vendors. It's a great opportunity to expand amenities at Lake Matthew. We've received over 100 letters, letters of support, so it's really exciting. But essentially, it's just, we need permission from the council and a resolution of support in order to apply for the grant.
Okay.
So,
does anybody have any questions in the audience up here about this? Any comments? Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
Roy Blackburn, 1,000 Lofty.
Come right up here.
Question every time. Sorry.
That's good.
So it says 10% match. So what's it matching? So $80,000 grant,
Right.
10% match of 8,000?
Yes, so the 8,000 that we would
Okay.
potentially have to match. Yeah.
and that would most likely come out of gaming funds.
And it can actually be matched other ways. Is that right? It could even be matched by another grant or some other, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
We
so-
have funding available for that.
Okay. All right. Answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Good question. Okay, so if there are no other comments, I'm going to close the public hearing.
I have a question real quick,
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
location, just location wise, there's two docks, is that
Yeah, I was gonna say, John, if you might.
John, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just curious,
So-
where would those be located? Both at the marina or?
so as soon as you enter the, marina,
Mhm.
there is a service dock there that the, dock, contractors use.
Mhm.
And it's the very first dock in the corner, which is in the no-wake area. So as soon as you come in the parking lot heading to the east, it's the very first access point. And it's a long, wide dock with a seawall that is accessible for the kayaks. That keeps them away from the boat ramp as well, which that is somewhat problematic because that's the only place for them to launch. So they end up driving their vehicles down the boat ramp, instead of somewhere out of the way that's convenient because they have nowhere place to launch.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. I was just curious, wanted to have a vision of it where, absolutely, thank you.
Any other question anybody has? Okay.
And I might add a quick comment, just, we are looking at potential partnership with the same organization as the one in Charleston, kayak rentals. We haven't approached them officially or anything like that, but we just had an informational meeting. And, within 10 days, Charleston made $1,500 of those rentals.
Yeah.
So it's, a very interesting way to, further develop the amenities down at the lake. And this is part of a broader plan too, eventually someday, hopefully we have the bike trail connected to both of the lakes there. But it doesn't really make sense to do that if there's no amenities currently. So, it's just a great way of utilizing quality of life as an economic development strategy. So,
And you're working on something at Lake Paradise also, the trail to open that up again?
yep, we just submitted a concept one to have an AmeriCorps team come out here and essentially we have 8 to 12 of them if accepted, where we'd be able to have them September till November.
Okay.
Developing trail system.
Good thing. A lot of good things happen at the lakes. Thanks to a lot of hard work from a lot of people.
Yep.
Okay, close the public hearing then now. And now we'll go on to new business.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd make a motion to adopt special ordinance number 2023-1858, approving a 4-year contract renewal of the collective bargaining agreement with the Mattoon Firefighters Association, Local 691, IAFF, AFL-CIO.
I have a second on that motion.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps, and any questions, comments about that? Hearing none.
Well, I would just like to say it's been a long task, I think longer than some of us, anticipated or were hoping for. But I'd like to thank Administrator Gill and Chief Hilligoss for your input and your work on it the past couple of years, as well as Bart and the bargaining unit from the MFD firefighters. I do appreciate it. I think there's been some good things that came out of this. I think there's a lot more dialogue that's going on the last couple of years, and not only dialogue, but importantly, listening. And I think there's some things going in the right direction. And while any contract probably has a few things that both sides like and don't like, that's probably a good contract in the end. So I do appreciate everyone's efforts and the work that they do.
And this contract goes through April 30th of 2026, correct? So we'll have labor peace for 3 more years. But
With them.
yeah,
We have another 2 next year.
yeah, got one out of the way. Good one.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven? Yes. Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Move to adopt ordinance number 2023-5467, amending section 34.043C1 of chapter 34 in the Municipal Code of Ordinances to reduce the number of engineers in the Mattoon Fire Department to 9 engineers.
And a second on that motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Graven, and any comments on this item?
Not unless someone needs any clarification.
Okay, just one item of the many that came out of arbitration.
Okay, all right, thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2023-2356, approving the cost proposal in the amount of $35,000 from the Upchurch Group for preliminary engineering, survey, and design services for the bike trail / hotel connection project, and authorizing the mayor to sign the local public agency engineering services agreement.
And a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps? And any comments on this one? This is go ahead. This is two parts. I was going to go into there's one that sounds very familiar, very similar, but it's not the same. Exactly. You going to make comment on that, Dean? Or anything else?
Early.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody else have any comments or questions? All right, then roll call.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2023-3246, approving the motor fuel tax expenditures in the amount of $35,000 for preliminary engineering, survey, and design services for a pedestrian / bicycle path from the north end of McFall Road to the Mattoon Charleston Bike Trail, and authorizing the city clerk to sign the resolution.
And a second on that motion.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps, and any comments on this one?
I'm really just saying what you were getting ready to say a while ago, this is the same $35,000. The first one, we approved the contract, we did do the design work, and the second one, we is an IDOT form.
Okay, thank you. Okay, roll call?
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve council decision request 2023-2357, approving the water and sewer billing adjustment in the amount of $1,413.96 on behalf of Gabriel Aroro, located at 112 North 24th Street.
And a second on that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox? And any comments on that? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2023-3247, providing for a feasibility study on the designation of a portion of the city as a redevelopment project area located in the Remington Road I-57 area and inducing development interest within that area or in that area.
And a second on that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox? And any comments anybody has?
This is just the start of the work of the developing a TIF district in that area. They're working on the TIF plan, and this basically does introduce this to the public. So if there is developers interested in that area out there, they can let us know so we can put some of those project costs in the TIF development, in the TIF redevelopment plan. And so this is just the start of many meetings that we'll have, public notices and everything else that will ramp up really in June. You'll see the biggest part of that stuff in June, and hopefully have approval early in August.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2023-3248, approving a boat access area development BAAD program application through the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, IDNR, with a 10% match from the city for the purpose of installing an ADA accessible kayak launch at Lake Mattoon, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary to complete the application.
Any other comments on this one? I think we had some before, but does anybody else have anything?
I'll second
Okay.
it. I'll second it though.
Okay, I'm sorry, second. And roll call then.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yep.
Commissioner
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
A motion to approve council decision request 2023-2358, approving the plans and specifications for the Lafayette Sidewalk project for sidewalk improvements from Logan Street to Crestview subdivision.
And a second on that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, and then any questions, comments on this project?
unless there's any questions.
Okay, roll call?
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Next is department reports, starting with the city administrator, Kyle Gill.
Again, been busy just getting some of the stuff together with the arbitrator's decision on the contract and the ordinance change, and then been working on sports complex. They're getting very close to going out for the bonding. Dan and I, Mayor, have been reviewing what seems like the same document for a week. Just little changes here and there, but it just continues. But that's coming to a closure. And then been starting to work with Alex a little bit, and we're working on getting ready to have everything in line for the TIF, make sure that we have all the timeline schedules, notifications prepared for the upcoming busy month of June on that aspect. So other than that, day-to-day stuff's busy. We've had some cleanups. A lot of calls in the last couple weeks last couple days about garbage trucks. I think there's notifications went out to a lot of people on that they want to start picking up garbage off the streets instead of the alleys, which poses some concern, but again, it just depends on the street, or if you have a lot of cars parked or not. But these trucks, I think what they're moving towards is the big trucks that has just a driver that would have an arm available to come out and pick up the trash. So
So are those trucks too large for the alleys? Is that the concern?
typically they're larger than the normal trucks a little bit, but then the arm, a lot of times we have utility poles and power lines and cable lines in the alleys that pose a problem. So, and then sheds and stuff being close as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest issue.
Any questions for Kyle? I have one real quick. I hear that the Dunkin' Donuts has started construction. There's a comment that's been going on. That start was supposed to start how many years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago, but Alex finally gave him approval. So no, I'll throw it on Alex now.
Alex.
No,
Let's try to help out Holden.
let me defend Alex. It didn't get done until he started.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there you go. So, but no.
2015 is when they first started talking to the city of Mattoon. So only 8 years,
Yeah, and they're going to get it done in 3 months?
3 months.
That's the story?
Wow.
Okay.
Kyle, go back to the waste management situation here again. So essentially they're mandating their customers, and I don't know, the other ones may do the same at some point, to put the trash bins, which are fairly large, right?
Yeah.
Definitely larger than a typical
Sign of some sort that you put on. So is there a concern, or is there something that the city can do about, because I see people, I can anticipate people are going to be leaving those trash cans out on the street, out on the boulevard. We don't allow, for safety reasons, we don't allow, and for other reasons as well, but mostly safety reasons, you can't have signs out on the boulevard. So do you see a problem with that, or is there something we can do so we don't have these large?
So we do have several people that do have pickup in front now, and that's not been a problem. But as more and more, there is the potential of having problems, so that may be something that we need to address. There is some stuff in the property maintenance code that says trash containers are only supposed to be out for a period of time. I need to look at that code again, and that they got to be covered and stuff like that. So there is some ordinances in place that we may be able to rely upon, or we may have to make some changes to our current ordinances as well.
I could definitely see, small kids playing around those trash bins and then hiding behind them, or what have you. It's a visibility thing for.
I know we do
traffic.
have some on the books. I just haven't reviewed it. But I know in the past we've had people that tried to put 55-gallon drums out on the boulevard, and we were able to have them move those. So I just need to review
Then you've
those.
got the winds that blow them out in the middle of the road.
Right. Once they're empty, they don't fall over, and yeah.
It's never that windy around here.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kyle? City Attorney Dan Jones.
I've also read several versions of the sports complex bonding issues. I think that's going to go forward, though. I'm very excited about that. I can report to the council apparently that Rob Perry is going to appeal his determination from the Liquor Control Commission that he should lose his liquor license. Judici.com says he's filed that. I've not seen it yet. The mayor's not been served, I know. But I'll report back when I know more, but I think he is going to appeal. He waited to the last day to file it, of course, and then, but we'll keep going. And that's all I got. Happy to answer questions about anything.
So that still means no new evidence, right? Just,
Right. It's a review under what's called the Illinois Administrative Review Act, so there's no new evidence. The record is what it is. And the judge, when reviewing it, it's not a review, well, if I were deciding this, how would I review it? The standard is there any reasonable basis for the commission to have ruled the way it did? And if so, the judge is bound to affirm that decision. So it's a very tough standard for him.
You know, we hadn't had a chance to talk about this, but Kyle and I went by the old Brown Shoe Factory, and it looks like they're actually doing some work there.
Are they?
There's a new dumpster there. There was a vehicle parked in the back. Looks like somebody's.
The owner has been served with our complaint, so he definitely knows about it. So hopefully that's going to spur into some action.
Yeah, but there's been some brush and stuff cut up. There is a dumpster there now, and
I think Sam wants to comment
Yeah.
about it.
All right, that's fine. All right,
I'm happy to if he doesn't.
No,
but,
no. We'll give you a
feel
chance.
free.
All right, any other questions for Dan? City Clerk Susan O'Brien.
I'm just processing the new hires and summer help, HR and insurance issues and property and casualty claims. Business as usual.
Any questions for Susan? Somebody's going to ask her a question someday. I don't know. It's,
Right. I don't have a flashy job.
finance.
critical though.
But if,
Yeah.
right.
It's you're the person that keeps everybody straight now.
yes.
Yeah, that's right. I heard about that. Yeah.
That should be in there. Finance, Beth Wright.
So a week ago Monday, Kyle and I had a ratings surveillance call with Moody's, an annual thing that they do. Today we learned that they affirmed the Baa1 rating. And I've given you the text release and the credit opinion. They changed the outlook from negative to stable. And that was the, I guess, outside of the calls. We're looking for more, but that's what it was. We only have $285,000 remaining in rated debt, and that will be paid off December 15th. It's in the sewer fund. So once that's gone, I believe the rating is withdrawn, and we have no rated debt at that point in time. Revenue tracking is complete for fiscal 24. 1.1 million from our neutral sources of revenue. Compared to 20.2 million a year ago. This is on a cash basis, of course. Then in terms of fiscal 24, I did look up this morning the gaming revenue for the month of May. 65,101. So it's compared to I didn't print a separate sheet, fiscal 24, but 65,001 versus 67,461 a year ago. Restricted cash in general fund is 10.9 million today. The last council meeting was 12.2 million. And I did move some funds to a new Illinois funds account for future capital projects, according to the amended budget that we approved at the last meeting. We set up a new Illinois funds account, and Illinois funds is paying on average for the month of April is 4.871%. So I'm going to keep those funds earning a good rate of return. So I set up a new account under the gas projects. And unless there are cookies, that's all I have to report.
two of the things in the report on the Moody's, on the rating. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the move from negative to stable was mainly because of the extra pension payments that we've made the last couple of years and the actually surplus revenues that we have in our general fund or whatever. The surplus is, those were the two major factors that raise us from a negative to a stable. So just wanted to point that out.
And the rating itself is based on some economic factors that we have no control over. The household income of residents and the tax base.
There is a lot of good information in there. I suggest you all to read it and kind of analyze some of that.
Any other comments from finance, questions? Public Works, Dean Barber.
Very happy that plans are going out to bidders for the sidewalk project on Lafayette. It's May 24th. Fuller is replacing fire hydrants on Charleston Avenue. There's 8 total. He'll have 5 done this week. I'm sure I'll into department. Park. They should finish that project. They'll finish the south, the 5 on the south side of the road this week and 3 on the north side next week. And then they're going to start on the bike road.
And that's the reason why there's only one lane of traffic on the south side, and they'll do the same thing on the north side. About 4 blocks from 7 or what?
13th to 17th right now.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay, next we have Fire Department. Chief Jeff Hilligoss.
Thank you. Since our last meeting, the guys have answered 76 calls for service. Inspectors did 4 inspections. Training wise, had several of the members go through ITLS, which is International Trauma Life Support. That's a little different than the certifications of PALS, the Pediatric Advanced Life Support, and ACLS. Those 2 are paramedics have to have. ITLS, everybody has to have, from basic to paramedics. So that certification is good for 3 years. And we have several folks that will do to take that. We had an ARF simulator from Mount Vernon. It was a plain fuselage. Seen it out front, and that gives the guys an opportunity to get the ARF truck, get their hands on it, and work with victims out of the airplane. They also did training with OSFM fire investigator. Saturday, we had our entry-level exam. 6 folks showed up. 4 of them are all obeyed. 2 of them were not 21 yet. They'll be turning 21 the first part of next year. So I would have a lot of them to test. And then we've got 13 of the guys have begun the training for their advanced firefighter, which, to my knowledge, once those, that'll be everybody again, right? That'll have the advanced firefighter. That helps when we have our ISO ratings. It's just another certificate, more advanced training, getting into pre-planning, building construction, just more advanced stuff. So once they complete that, all of the members, then they get into the advanced fire. I think the last time we did this was around 2007. They got everybody to the advanced due to retirements, new hires, getting everybody else. So I've got, unless anybody's got any questions.
One thing that's been in the news lately that affects the fire department for sure and the ambulance business is that Interstate 57 mess where those 6 people were killed. You can't really train for that. This never really happened before, as far as anybody knows.
Well, it was the mid-90s. It did happen on 57. A similar dust storm that caused a wreck. That was before my time, so I don't have any of the particulars. But yeah, seeing that on the news and diving into some of the critiques, through different networks that I've done, that it took a lot of people. I think it was like 25 different responding agencies, responded. So trying to put myself in that position, coordinate, that was a tough one for whoever was first on the scene.
Yep. Okay, any other questions for Jeff? Police Chief Sam Gaines?
We logged 961 calls for service in the last 2 weeks and 55 arrests. The pictures in front of you were properties in town that would get complaints more than any other nuisance property in the city. Thank you, Dan. You finally got the judge to order a lien thing on those. And so today that happened. One's in the 300 block from Mole 3, the other in the 800 block of South 17th Street. The one on Mole 3, there were 2.5 dumpsters full, taken out of that yard with a backhoe bucket on the front. And then same thing on South 17th Street. Again, had to bring in some heavy equipment, but that one so that it can get done today. It'll get finished with volunteers actually on Thursday from the Truth and Grace Church. So we're happy to have them come out and help. But two of the biggest properties in town that we get the most complaints on are cleaned up or are getting cleaned up. So.
Very good. Any questions?
Those were 30-yard
Yeah, big.
cubic yard dumpsters. Wow. I think a lot of people are happy with that. I heard some compliments from the people in South 17th.
Actually, there were people coming out of the houses and thanking.
Good cause. Hopefully that momentum continues.
Any other questions, comments?
Well, one thing Chief Gaines didn't mention is,
Modest, I think, but there was how many, I drove by 17th, just happenstance, today about 1 o'clock or so, and 4 police units and officers helping, and that's not really what we think of as a police officer's duty and so forth, but they got in there and did what needed to be done. And
also to give Deputy Chief first credit, baby, and he saw it all the way through, got the volunteers together. He was out at both properties all day today. So yeah, that's
job well done. Good deal.
Okay, any comments from Arts and Tourism? I got any reports for Angelia? She's not here.
She is not. She's down in Tennessee with family, but do want to remind everyone our first Bagel Bites is this Friday, May 5th in Heritage Park. There'll be an evening concert, so I hope everyone gets out and supports this new initiative in Heritage Park and through the downtown area and tourism. There's going to be food trucks on site from 5 to 8, and Jane Doe will be playing from 6 to 7:30. It's going to be a nice new festival in the downtown area. We got some initiatives to go to this summer to dress up and do some fun stuff with that I think people are really going to appreciate and like in the downtown area. And this is one of the first things to go downtown and enjoy being outside in Mattoon, enjoy some live music.
It doesn't rain.
It's not going to rain.
Sandy was smiling about are you in the costumes? Sandy, you were smiling during that time. You're not doing it.
Nope,
Okay.
it's just thinking about it.
It is not karaoke.
Calling for rain on Friday.
So
Okay, any questions related to arts and tourism? And community development, Alex?
Yeah, so since our last meeting, we've had 3 fence permits for mechanical, pipe, plumbing, 2 certificates of occupancy, new business, 5 street cuts, 2 demolitions. And outside of that, yeah, I submitted our Air Corps CCC concept form for trails at Lake Terrace. We got about 5 months planned right now, 110 acres of city property. Working with Lake Pierce on the groundbreaking for the sports complex for that event. And then this Thursday, we have our meeting with the Illinois Housing Development Authority to start some housing-based planning for the community for a community revitalization project. Basically, it's $30,000 to $50,000 worth of pre-planning for that too. This is going to really enable us to target those dilapidated vacant properties in the community and also access additional grant funding to help current residents. Thank you all for passing that resolution for the BAAD. Hopefully, we'll be applied on the 15th. We will be getting that. Revising the permit forms, something that we're hoping to do within the next 6 months is go completely digital with that process. Right now, my office kind of utilized since I've been here for the past 5 months or so. We kind of focus a little bit on memory-based things, and I'm trying to bring us more so towards, just verifiable digital record keeping for those types of things. Right now, it's just PDFs. But we're thinking about, just assessing either the fire department's permitting software or other community development services. But outside of that, new electrical inspector, and it's been a pretty great week so far.
Great. Any questions for Alex? And let's see, we're going to have the comments from the council, starting with Commissioner Clausen.
Thank you, Mayor. Just again, want to thank Deputy Chief Hurst. It's a great project that got started today, and second property will wrap up Thursday. Part-time, get some part-time help at Dodge Grove and with Kurt, and could probably use another one with John at the lakes, but getting the cemetery ready. Memorial Day will get here quick. Kurt's got 2 leagues going right now, so the extra helpers are coming in very handy. So those departments summer's here. Very, very busy, all 3 of them.
I understand there's a new flag up at the complex now. Is that right?
It's news to me.
I believe so.
Is that right?
Yeah. You had something to do with that, I thought.
Are you talking about the church league field?
Yeah, I guess there's.
Well, yeah, we have a flagpole that we got and we put up there. And
Good.
I thought you were talking about the complex. I mean, we don't call church league field a complex.
Yeah.
You were going to play church league softball, but you got cut by your church team. So I'm surprised you. Sorry, you guys. This is how it gets off course. Now, don't pick on me.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else? Any questions? Let's see, Commissioner Cox.
thank you, Mayor. Had the pleasure to attend the community breakfast last Thursday morning. Great event with Coles County, and really highlighted a lot of great things that were going on, most notably the LIFT program and the help me out, the entrepreneurial program at the high school, which is Class E, thank you, which is really some great kids with some great ideas and some great passion. They're going to do some great things in life, but also with recognized 20 individuals under the age of 40, and for their contributions to our area. Alex was one of those 20 under 40 this year. So I'd like to congratulate you, and very well deserved. Got a lot of good work ahead of you. And is Mattoon feeling like home now?
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay.
I was very flattered. I had no idea that I was nominated for that. And I just got this email. I was like, wow, it's kind of cool to just, I guess, be recognized.
I think it was getting the Dunkin' Donuts thing done that put you over. I really did. So, congratulations.
Yeah.
Any questions?
That's it.
And
for the Class C, just another thing I'd like to mention. tomorrow, 4:30 to 6:30, the class and students are going to be having their projects available at Elevate for people to look at their businesses. So if you get a chance, that's another great opportunity to learn about us.
Thank you.
A little plug there.
Yeah.
All
Thank
their, all their businesses, they write something aware of they can what they have, so.
Really impressive young people. They've done some great things.
Agree. Commissioner Graven?
Other than congratulations, Alex, I have nothing.
Okay. Commissioner Phipps?
Congrats, Alex. Very, very well deserved. So that's all I have.
Okay. Just real quick, tonight ends our multiple years of having a local state of emergency announced at our meetings. On May the 11th, the state of Illinois will no longer be in a state of emergency for COVID. So we will not have to follow those rules. Although the state has passed the ability to have local states of emergency where we can still have separate meetings if we need to online. But at least we're not going to see that one anymore.
That's a good thing.
Any questions you might have for me, offhand? Yeah. Hearing no other comments, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Mayor.
And a second.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps? And roll call, please.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Raven? No. Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. Meeting adjourned.
I really got to run it.